Therefore, the target is raised. It doesn't move as much, but energy is what? Being absorbed in the target. The only way you can do this is get a heavy bag. Then you'll see the bag do this. If you hit the bag and it goes back, and that's what everybody tries to do, they try to impress you with knocking. Actually, what they're doing is what? Pushing you. That's all they've done. So you get a 2x4 and come back after it. So when you're doing this, we're actually rising, energy absorbs in the body. To better appreciate this is here, you see? Stand there, I'm just going to push here, right? Okay, like here, okay? This is the regular here, okay? Right here. That's what's happening, okay? Now here, right here. Same. The only difference is this, more energy goes into the body. Try that. Just go here and push, and then this way, try it. And then not hard, guys. Right. Okay, number one is we have ranges. We already said this is long range. You have what? Closer range, we have punching range, we have thrusting range, we have fall range, we have elbow range, we have knee range, and now we have grappling ranges. So there are many. So now what you want to do is, this is human nature. Human nature is, what's our predominant weapon? Worldwide weapons. What do we use? Pistol, knife, bayonet, sword, what? Missiles? Huh? You see, first we have intercontinental missile range from continent to continent. That is human nature. I would rather fight you from 20 billion miles away by pushing the button than to close with you. You see what I mean? We have artillery range, missile range, artillery range. Then we have what? Small arms range. And it keeps going down until we have what? Then you have rifle range. Then you've got machine gun range, or whatever the heck, submachine gun range. Then we got pistol range. And then finally we go down to empty hand. But when we do it, we don't want to close with our opponent, so we now have kicking range, and we have all these different ranges till we finally get to grappling range. Actual combat encompasses every one of those ranges, except for the, now when you go into rifle, that's now different art and all that. Pistol, that's all different thing. But now when we're talking about, we have to know every one of these ranges, all right? So now vital areas. Vital areas are taught, nerve centers and all this. These are nice to know. In other words, when you come up here, he has two orbs called the eyeballs. Okay, we've got the throat. We've got all these different targets. They're very nice to know. But now we're talking about combat range in combat application. We're in Anchorage, Alaska. It's the middle of winter. The man has a t-shirt, he has a wool shirt, he has a sweater, and he has another shirt over the sweater, and he now has an overcoat. And he's wearing a muffler. And he happens to be a dog musher, so he's wearing goggles. And he's down to here. And I am now going to use my deadly pressure point on him. You see what we're talking about? Those are nice to know, but in certain circumstances, that stuff no longer applies. I wear mittens, I'm in gloves and all this, I can no longer use this. Now, when I talk combat, I spent 24 years in the Marine Corps, so I always visualize myself being in a foxhole, like in Platoon movie and all that, and guys jumping into the foxhole and all this, right? So I'm going to do my spinning back somersault kick in a one-man foxhole. You see what I mean? Or I'm in the swamps of Vietnam, and I'm up here waiting, and I'm going to do my double jump kick out of the mud and water. This is, in other words, under the worst conditions is how you practice karate or how you practice combat. You think of the worst possible conditions. Your house is flooding out here at Shreveport, and you're the only one with a boat, and a couple of ruffians are going to take your boat. You see, that's how you figure that it's going to be. Now, if you think those conditions are not possible, then you better find out what happened during the hurricane in the Virgin Islands. Anybody know what happened there? Every store was robbed. Every grocery store but one was robbed. In other words, anarchy came there, people just went over, they did what they wanted. Why didn't they rob this one store? Because 10 members of the family stood there with AK-47 and 16s and everything. So I'm just saying, you think if this will never happen, wrong. The worst conditions is when it brings out the best of some people, but it also brings out the worst of some people. That's combat conditions. Under the worst conditions, what are you going to do? You're waiting, you're trying to pull your family on that boat, and two ruffians trying to take it. Now that's how you're going to have to learn to fight. Forget about the rules, regulations, and all this. You see? So what we're after, to give an example, in Nam, we came out, we had these heavy flak jackets. It had big plates on it. I used to use it for armor. We used to kick with boots on. You couldn't hurt nobody with that. So one time, some members of my unit found some of the Navy armor, which was now the new soft armor that had just come out, which is what they have now. So one guy walked in while we were teaching, we were sparring, and one of the guys walked in. He didn't know anything about karate or anything. He walked in with one of these new flak jackets and says, "Okay, use your karate on me." I punched him, he went down. It is shrapnel resistant, it is not punch proof. You understand what I'm talking about? If you're wearing today, now one of these flak jackets, I can generate enough force to knock the wind out of you. I will not penetrate, but I will be able to knock. That is combat. To give you an example, there is one form of karate in Okinawa that teaches this. That is their Uichi-do. This is it. Their main technique is with the spear and here. You'll read articles about it as the deadliest system on Okinawa. He's now in Anchorage, Alaska under these conditions. This technique, forget it. All I'm going to do is, you see that middle finger? That is what we call a mallet finger. And of course that was caused by me hitting somebody that was built, one of the few people that was built like a son of a gun. I speared him, and 99% of the people always screamed, hollered, and went down. I hit this guy and he didn't even know what happened. One of the few guys. That's combat. In other words, somebody that is outstanding shape, you're going to be hit. So in combat karate, we have to have what? We have to be in outstanding physical condition to take blows also, not just dish it out, take it. So that's a mallet. Now you're going to see the Uichi-do guy hitting this guy under this circumstances. So now forget this. So combat now, punching, striking, kicking will now work even with that. It won't penetrate as much. Primitive tribes that actually used to wear what? A lot of just clothing, just to protect them against slashes, punches, and all that. Okay? So now that's why we want it. It's nice to know these targets. They are our targets. Now there are targets and there are vital areas, vital points. Vital points are the eyes, the throat, all these nerve centers and all that, you know. Just to give you an example, we're just fine, okay? If we find the arm right up here, you just follow right down here, you'll see this muscle protrude, you just take your finger and you push down in toward here, right? We can find a nerve area right here, right? But now it's middle of dark, and somebody just mugs you in the alley. You see what we're talking about? Can you find that area? The odds are no, you're not going to find it. So these are nice. This is what we call dojo, and you're authorized to learn all these different techniques. But I'm not going to be worrying about that. So these are vital points. Targets are what? This is a target. Mass. If I'm on a rifle range, where do I shoot? The head shot, the hand shot? I'm not the Lone Ranger anymore. I go to center of mass. If he jumps down, if he comes down, I get him in chest. He jumps up, I get him in belly. He moves there, boom, get him in chest. In other words, I'm shooting the round. I'm head and mass. Forget this. So in karate, and Isshin-Ryu is one of the few systems that generates 90% of its target area is the what? Center of mass. 90%. Haven't you ever? Except for those that have changed it. You know, we have no head punch. I don't know if anybody knows this. There is no head punch in Isshin-Ryu Karate. Or, you know, if we stand. Traditional, it's an imaginary opponent your size. We have no face shot like here, except uppercut. Why the uppercut? Because now we're closer. And now the head is harder to get away. So we have no head shots. Now, as a matter of several famous boxers have made statements like, if you kill the body, the head dies. And the reason the body shots because it is harder to get away. When you learn this in Eskrima, we do the same thing. We go for center of mass. To defend this now, he has to try and protect it, but you'll find this later. So this is where 90% of this is.